Hey there. Here in front of me, I have this 2003 GE front serviceable style washer, affectionately known in the washer community as a Chug Chug GE or a GE profile. This one is a higher end model with the electronic controls and speed selector and all that. And it is a nice machine. It's in good shape. Actually, really good cosmetic shape for the age of the machine. But unfortunately, these can be a bit of a ticking time bomb, and I'll tell you why. So, we get down here. I got the front panel taken off of the machine, and these can leak. You can see where the bottom panel right there is really rusted. These can leak. And being the fact that the bottom is sealed off, I mean, if the leak is bad enough, it'll come out the side, sure. But, the fact that there's this pan here, this thing can leak for a long time undetected, and it will ruin that bearing in the bottom of the transmission there. And, I have seen people be able to take the assembly apart and replace it. However, this transmission is not designed to be repairable. It does not have any officially supported repairable parts. Therefore, it is pretty difficult to do. But if you have one of these and it's still going and it's still nice and quiet, I suggest to take the front panel off and run a couple of cycles through it and check that tub seal and make sure it is not leaking, because you'll want to change that before the leak. If it is leaking or seeping or anything, it gets bad enough to where it's dribbling down the sides of the transmission into that bearing, because these can leak these can leak for a while, and the water will just collect in the bottom here, and you won't know that it's leaking until it's too late, and you notice that your machine starts getting louder, and that bearing in the bottom of the transmission is shot. And like I said, for a lot of people, that bearing is not a feasible repair. You do have to have a decent amount of tools to be able to take that bearing out and replace it. That's a job I've never done before. However, there is a guide online on how to do it. If I can find it, I'll link it in the description of the video. But yeah, for any of the people that still own these older GE profile machines, the front serviceable Chug Chug, or even a Hydrowave, same way. Check your tub seal. If you plan on keeping this machine for a while, check your tub seal, because you're definitely going to rather replace the tub seal than having to replace having to change that bottom bearing out, or the whole transmission assembly, which is $200 on eBay. So at that point, you might as well just throw the machine away. I like these. They're pretty nice. They work well when they do work. They work well. They clean well. They hold a lot. And they have pretty smooth spins due to the hanging tub suspension, which a lot of people dog on the hanging tub suspension, but these, I've never had a problem with them, and they really do not shake much at all during a spin. And I live in a older mobile home with weaker floors, and these perform a lot better balancing during the spin than whirlpools do. So I like them. I have a soft spot for them. I've grown up around these, so, maybe nostalgia is a bit of a factor. And, I mean, they're not an unreliable machine, but they're definitely not a Whirlpool from the same era. So, yeah, if you have an older GE profile, check your tub seals. Take the cover off the machine, run a cycle or two, and make sure that's not leaking. If it is, you'll want to change it ASAP before it gets to that bottom bearing in the transmission, and then you're really in for it. So anyways, I'll probably post a full cycle video of this machine running. It sounds terrible. That seal has been leaking for a very long time, as you can see by the rust in the bottom, and I just kept running it like that. And this one was bad enough to where I know it was leaking out onto the floor. So, but anyways, appreciate you listening to me ramble, and hopefully this may actually help somebody out that's got one of these machines. And I'm sorry if you just heard me fart, and I'm pretty gassy in the morning. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.